At first, she was all by herself. That was until Joshua came into the room and set up his exercise mat right next to her. The gym was practically empty, and he could have put his mat literally anywhere, but instead, he came and sat right next to her. Surveillance footage showed Joshua walking up the stairs and peeking in the door of the room where Molly was working out. He walked away for a second before turning back around and going into the room with her. He was in the room for a bit before leaving again, and then he came back to look through the door at Molly. Now, Molly was really freaked out, and I think anybody would be in this moment. First, she saw him last night at the bar, and now he's at her gym? So Molly started texting her friend Amy and also her mom about what was happening. Amy told her that this definitely wasn't just a coincidence, and Molly felt the exact same way. She knew that the only way that he could have known her location was if he had been following her. So she decided to confront him. She asked him why he wasn't at work, and he told her that it wasn't any of her business. So Molly decided to move her things to a different area of the gym, but she kept texting Amy and texting her mom. She didn't know what she should do, but she was scared. Finally, she saw Joshua leave out of the entrance, and she started to feel a little bit of relief. Both Amy and her mom told Molly that she needed to go straight home, get the heck out of there. So at around 11 a.m., Molly started walking to her car in the parking lot. She didn't see him outside, but Joshua had apparently never actually left. He was sitting, watching, and circling the parking lot waiting for her to come outside. Molly got inside of her car, but before she could even lock her doors, Joshua ripped open the driver's side door, and he began attacking her with a knife, over and over and over. A man named Benjamin Morton ran over and started yelling at Joshua to stop, screaming at him. Joshua was practically inside the car with his legs hanging out, and Benjamin tried to yank his legs, trying to get him out, but there was so much that his hands were slipping. He then started slamming the car door on Joshua's legs, thinking that might get him to stop. But Joshua just pulled himself further into the car, and he started trying to Molly's throat. Benjamin didn't know what else to do, so he got in his own car and he blocked Joshua in so that he couldn't leave. But Joshua didn't even care, and he didn't even try to leave. When he decided he had her enough and he had done enough, he got out of Molly's car and he just calmly waited for the police to arrive. When they got there, they saw that Josh was covered in and he simply stated, "You want me." He was arrested and eventually brought to a psychiatric hospital. Paramedics tried to revive Molly, but Joshua had stabbed her over 75 times and had also tried to slit her throat. So she was pronounced dead at 11:43 a.m. on June 29th, 2017. Molly's friends and family started seeing the news about something going on at the gym and that a girl had been attacked and killed in the parking lot. The news didn't say who the girl was, but her friends could see Molly's location on Snapchat, and it said that she was still at the gym. Her friend Amy started putting two and two together, and she called Molly's mom to tell her what had happened, what was going on. Molly's mom called her father, who was out on a boat hundreds of miles away at the time, and he rushed back as fast as he could to be with his wife and be with Molly's brother Tom. On July 31st, 2016, when she matched with 24-year-old Joshua Stimpson. So from their conversations, it seemed like they had a lot in common. They bonded over their love for fitness, but also their shared experience with anxiety and depression made them bond even more. So after a few months of talking, they finally decided to meet in person in the fall of 2016. And it wasn't long after that that they ultimately made things official. They were in a new budding relationship. But as the honeymoon phase gradually started to wear off in this new relationship, Molly started to realize that Joshua was actually much different in person than he was online. From the beginning of their relationship, Joshua seemed to always want to be around Molly. However, it started to become excessive and kind of come off as him being a little bit possessive over her. He even started trying to convince Molly that her friends weren't good people and that she should start distancing herself from them. So ultimately, Molly started to feel really suffocated by Joshua, because he would basically never leave her alone. Josh even quit his job working at a warehouse to spend more time with Molly, even though she had told him that she needed her space. Things then started getting more concerning when Joshua just started randomly showing up to places that he was not invited to. Molly would plan a get-together or a night out with her friends, and Joshua would just randomly appear. Molly decided it was time to end their relationship. But Josh wasn't going to just accept this decision. It was like he wouldn't take no for an answer. He was constantly texting her, calling her, and literally wouldn't leave her alone. She wanted nothing to do with Joshua. And once again, his texts then started becoming aggressive. So she blocked him on her phone and blocked him on all of her social media accounts. Now, as you can imagine, this enraged Joshua, and his behavior only escalated. Joshua was charged with murder, but instead, he only pleaded guilty to manslaughter. He claimed that he had multiple personality disorder and therefore couldn't be charged with murder because he wasn't in the right state of mind. While Josh was awaiting trial, 2 different mental health professionals visited him, but they disagreed on his diagnosis. One professional who testified on behalf of the defense said that he had borderline personality disorder. He said that Josh had abandonment issues from his mother leaving when he was young, and that he wasn't functioning normally at the time of Molly's murder. The other mental health professional testified on behalf of the prosecution and said that Josh did not have any signs of a personality disorder that would have caused him to murder Molly. This professional said that Josh was vain, immature, a narcissist, and showed no remorse for the murder. However, it was also revealed through these evaluations that Joshua didn't even actually have bipolar disorder, and he had been lying to Molly about it all along. They also found that Molly had applied for a receptionist job at a gym on June 20th. This gym was different from the one that she and Josh usually went to together. So on June 27th, Joshua bought a membership to that exact same gym. And on that same day, Josh was seen on CCTV footage buying a pickaxe and a paring knife from the local hardware store. Police found these items in Josh's possession on the day of Molly's murder, along with a box cutter he had on him as well. They also spoke about Josh's strange behavior at work. After Molly broke up with him, coworkers said that his behavior was more erratic than usual. He was constantly crying and even told them that he was going to do something stupid, but he never went into further detail. The prosecution argued that Joshua killed Molly because he couldn't control her. And on February 6, 2018, after deliberating only for a few hours, the jury unanimously found Joshua guilty of first-degree murder. He was eventually sentenced to 26 years to life in prison. The judge who sentenced him said that he was a highly dangerous man who posed a threat to women in the future and would likely never be released. Joshua is currently in jail serving his sentence. July 10, 2018 was supposed to be Molly's graduation day. Her parents attended the graduation ceremony to accept her diploma on her behalf, and they received a standing ovation from the crowd. Molly's parents also set up the Molly McLaren Foundation to help those with eating disorders and hold a music festival called Molly Fest, and this is on her birthday every year.